All right, let's talk about something that's not just important, it's absolutely non-negotiable. Firearm safety. It's really built on four core ideas, four pillars. And in this explainer, we're going to break down every single one.
So, if I asked you, what's the single most important rule of firearm safety, what would you say? You know, it's a bit of a trick question, really, because the answer isn't a rule you do. It's a mindset. It's a whole way of thinking that has to be in place before you do anything else. Okay, so part one, a foundation of safety. It all starts right here, in your head. Before you even lay a hand on a firearm, you've got to build this mental framework. So think of it this way. Safety isn't some checklist you just tick off. No, it's a constant state of being, a total awareness. And this is what we mean by the safety mindset. It's this deep-seated respect, this constant vigilance. Every single thing you do with that firearm is on purpose. It's deliberate. The goal? To practice these rules so much they become second nature, like breathing. They become an automatic habit you couldn't break even if you tried. This right here, this is the core of that mindset, our very first pillar. Treat every firearm as if it is loaded. And let me be clear, this isn't just some friendly advice. This is the starting line for everything else. If you follow this one rule, you eliminate any room for doubt, any chance for a terrible, tragic assumption.
All right, moving on to part two, the rules of handling. So we have the mindset, right? Now let's see how that translates into what you actually do with your hands. We're talking about your direct physical interaction with the firearm. So these are what you can think of as the pillars of handling. We've already hammered home number one, always treat it as loaded. The second one is just as critical. Keep your finger off that trigger until your sights are on the target and you've made the decision to shoot. These two rules together, they govern every single physical thing you do. And let's really dig into that first rule for a second. The key word here is personally. I don't care if your best friend, a world-class expert, just handed it to you and said it's clear. It doesn't matter if you're 99% sure you unloaded it yesterday. You check for yourself every single time. You open that action, you look, you feel. No excuses, no exceptions. Period. Okay, this visual says it all for our second rule. Look over here on the safe side. See that? The trigger finger is straight, it's high up on the frame, way outside the trigger guard. This has to be your default setting. Your finger lives there, it only gets to visit the trigger at the very last second when you are 100% ready to fire. Now look at the danger side. That's the big no-no. Your finger has no business being there until it's time to go. Okay, so we've got the mindset, we've got the handling. Now let's zoom out. Part 3 is all about the rules of awareness. This is where your responsibility expands beyond just you and the firearm and out into the environment, to everything and everyone around you. And these are our pillars of awareness. Super straightforward, but incredibly important. Number 1, you are always in control of where that muzzle is pointing. And number 2, you have to know exactly what your target is and what's behind it. Let's talk about the muzzle rule. It is as simple and as serious as it gets. Never, ever point a firearm at anything you are not willing to see destroyed. Think about the gravity of that. It means you're always consciously aware of where that barrel is aimed. This isn't just a rule for the range. It's a 24/7, 365-day commitment. And that brings us right to our fourth pillar, which all boils down to this one critical question you have to ask yourself every time. What is behind my target? See, it's not enough to just know what you're aiming at. You have to remember you are responsible for that bullet from the instant it leaves the barrel until it stops moving, wherever that may be. So what does that actually mean? Well, first, you need to be 100% sure of your target. No doubt, no guessing, because a mistake here is irreversible. Second, you got to have a safe backstop, something that will stop that bullet cold, because that bullet has to stop somewhere, right? And then you have to think about the what-ifs. What if I miss? What could get hit? What if the bullet goes through the target? See, your responsibility doesn't end at the target. It follows that bullet all the way home. All right, part 4. This is where we bring it all home, your lifelong commitment. Because look, this isn't a class you take once and then forget. This stuff, it's a permanent commitment to being vigilant, to being responsible, and to showing respect. So here they are, all together, the 4 pillars. But please, don't just see this as a list to memorize. Think of it as a system where each rule supports the others. It's like a safety net. If you always treat it as loaded, you're naturally going to be more careful about where it's pointing, right? And if your muzzle is always in a safe direction, a mistake with your trigger finger is less likely to be catastrophic. See how they all work together? They back each other up. But break just one and the whole system can come crashing down.
And that brings us to the most important takeaway of all. Yeah, mastering these rules is absolutely crucial. But if you remember one thing, let it be this. Safety isn't an action. It's not a switch you turn on and off. It's a constant state of mind. It's who you are every single time a firearm is present. And that, right there, is the very heart of responsible ownership.